tumultuous up and down roller coaster year for Nevada. 8-5. Last time we saw them, they were getting hammered as huge favorites in the Hawaii Bowl by Southern Methodist. Chris Ault enters his 26th year. He has senior Colin Kaepernick, who has mastered the pistol offense beautifully. Vitale, the running back, was a first-team All-League selection. Freshman Player of the Year was Brandon Wimberly. He's a wide receiver at Kaepernick's disposal, but only 46 starts of experience on the offensive line, which is big for the pistol.
But you look at Chris Barker, the guard for Nevada, he's going to be a future all-WAC performer. He's an outstanding player. So that's a bright spot on that offensive line in the litany of questions that they have in that group. But improving in the passing game is going to be crucial to their success. If Kaepernick can improve, dramatically in the passing game, this offense is going to be even more explosive to stop. And you look at the running back, Mike Bell, he's going to take the role, replace the role of Lippincott, who left this season of graduation. So that offense has some questions, but it all stems from Kaepernick's ability to improve as a passer.
And they have the WAC Player of the Year on defense, who was Mr. Everything for them on that side of the ball. That's defensive end Dante Mock. Linebacker James Michael Johnson leads the linebacking crew, and they're really high on strong safety Duke Williams, who's only a sophomore, and they have two cornerbacks who had starting experience last year back this year.
Well, I love their linebackers as well. You mentioned James Michael Johnson, but you also can't forget about Brandon Marshall, another guy that can come in and make a lot of stops close to the line of scrimmage. And Dante Mock, enough has been said about him. He's a beast. A tremendous playmaker, provides instant pass rush as soon as he steps foot on the field. But the secondary this year can't be the detriment to that defense. They were getting bombed away. You look from the start of the season all the way to the end of the season, they were getting thrown on, a lot of yards given up. They can't prove to be the detriment of this team. Otherwise, they're going to be in a lot of shootouts. And if they can't improve in the passing game on offense, it'll be a big problem for Nevada.
New Mexico State, 3-10 last year under first-year head coach Dwayne Walker, who is formerly of UCLA, the defensive coordinator. He's now in his second year, and he calls the defensive plays for the Aggies. Jeff Fleming, their quarterback. Seth Smith, the running back. Marcus Allen is a threat at wide receiver, but this offense very anemic, under 90 yards per game through the air, which is one of the lowest, and 11.5 points per game. So they really need to generate offense. Dwayne Walker doing a better job on the other side of the ball.
Well, as the passing game improves, so does the rest of the offense. But with that question mark, you have to look at a heavy dose of Mr. Seth Smith at the running back spot. They're going to give him the ball a lot. And they have a steady offensive line led by their center, Mike Crady. So the offensive line is in place. The running back is in place. Can they improve in the passing game with Marcus Allen and company? That's going to be the biggest question mark on offense.
Defense better than the offense, but still giving up over 5.5 yards per carry, which is a problem. First team All-League Devon House. 13 pass breakups, 3 interceptions, 2 touchdowns, something to build on that defense. And they have 2 defensive ends that they really like in Pierre Fills and Dante Savage, 2 juniors. Savage had 5.5 tackles for loss last year.
Well, you look at 2 JUCO D tackles to come in to keep an eye on. You look at Tommy Stewart and David Mahoney. Those 2 guys are going to come in and play right away from jump. They're going to start. Those 2 guys are going to have to be disruptive to free up those defensive ends that you just named. And Devon House, what more can you say about this young man? Outstanding cornerback, wiry guy, but physical and fast, and has great ball skills. He's going to be tremendous. And they lost all 3 starting linebackers last year, so that can be a big question mark. It's going to be tough to replace those guys.
Spartans of San Jose State played well early, but struggled down the stretch. Only 2-10 last year. Duke defensive coordinator Mike McIntyre comes over to take the reins on the program. Jordan LaSecla, the quarterback, returns. Lamont Muldrow, the running back, was their leading rusher. Wide receiver Marcus Avery.
Well, they got to get more production out of Muldrow in that running game. They have to be more explosive in order for teams to respect the run at San Jose. And also, you look at that offensive line, they may be the best unit on this team, on the offense, at least. So that is a plus in that aspect. But they have to get a question. They have to answer the question at quarterback. Faulkner may win out. I don't know about Sekla, but I like Faulkner as a quarterback for the Spartans. But they have a question mark. Anytime you have 2 quarterbacks, you really have none. So they have to get that straightened out on offense.
Good point. Defensively, they started a year off well, but it showed that they really had no depth. As the year went on, they got gashed, especially on the ground, giving up nearly 260 yards per game and over 6 yards per carry. Strong safety Duca Ianacho, a lot of experience. first team all-leaguer at strong safety, and they're going to rely on guys up front like defensive tackle Pablo Garcia and Pompey Festeo at linebacker.
Well, Festeo is an outstanding playmaker. If you haven't seen good linebacker play, keep an eye on him. He's a good guy to watch. But also keep an eye on JUCO defensive end Akeem McKinney. He's going to come in and provide that instant pass rush, dominate the junior college level. They were able to get a steal in this guy because he was getting recruited by a lot of big schools on the West Coast, USC in particular. So they was able to get a big hoop. He's going to come in and probably start and help provide that pass rush for the Spartans.
Utah State was 4-8 in Gary Anderson's first year as head coach. He has quarterback DeAndre Burrow back for the second year. He's a poor man's Colin Kaepernick. He likes to make plays with his feet also. But the big loss for them was at running back this spring. He tore his ACL. That's Rob Turbin. So Michael Smith's going to try to take over at running back. Their leading wide receiver from last year, Stan Morrison, is back though.
Well, I look at DeAndre Burrell's impressive accuracy. Is uncanny. His leadership is tremendous. Doesn't throw interceptions, so he's a big plus to that offense. Now, a huge blow is losing Turbin, like you mentioned. But one guy to keep an eye on is that left tackle, Spencer Johnson, 6'7", 294. He's going to be a future all-conference player. He's that type of talent, that type of playmaker. He's going to help out that offensive line for the Aggies.
And on defense, really down the stretch, faded. 3 of their last 4 games, they gave up 49 points, 34 points per game all season. They gave up. Bobby Wagner, first-team all-conference linebacker, is back. He's their leading tackler. And Roger Coleman, free safety, mans the secondary.
Well, Chris Randall, the cornerback in the secondary, is poised for a breakout year, so keep an eye on him as well. But can they get improvement from the defensive line? That's a big question mark on their team. Defensively, can they get that improvement on the defensive line? That's going to help out the rest of their defense, as a whole. But that's the most important aspect. And then you mentioned Bobby Wagner, got it over 112 tackles. Outstanding linebacker. He loves aggressive style play, and that's a big plus for that defense.